Precision equipment partnered with natural body motion produces maximum results. This has been the essential concept inspiring the Hoist corporate evolution. Hoist boasts a 130,000 square foot facility in San Diego, California, home to the pioneering research, development, and production of superlative fitness equipment. With a long history of innovation and superior quality, the industry has come to expect from Hoist. Our standards have become the very measure of excellence in the realm of strength training equipment worldwide. Hoist builds quality and passion into each and every piece of equipment. The Hoist design team persistently seizes every opportunity to create ergonomically designed machines that focus on biomechanics. Their objective is to develop equipment that utilizes natural body motion while capitalizing on what produces optimal results so you can achieve success beyond expectation year after year. Exercise enthusiasts around the globe have recognized the brilliance in this fusion of outstanding ideas and technology continually being born at Hoist. With your Hoist equipment, you gain an enduring membership entitled to comprehensive customer service, an impressive warranty coverage, and unsurpassed performance that is the Hoist experience. No one does strength training better. No boundaries, no limits. The V2 represents ultimate flexibility, your total body workout solution, all at home. Whether you want to improve your game, blow off some steam, or boost your performance level, the V2 accommodates any workout you can dream up with a countless variety of exercises. If you want to attain your goals, you need a solid foundation and the tools to get you there. With your new V2, you are one step closer. The purpose of this video is to familiarize you with the many unique features and benefits of your new V2 Home Gym so you can maximize your workouts. Split weight cabling system. Counterbalanced self-aligning pulleys. Nylon pulleys are fiberglass reinforced with sealed bearings and extra wide cable grooves. 5-position back pad with a self-tracking seat. 2x4 steel tube frame construction. 1.5-inch high density foam padding. 2,000-pound cables manufactured to U.S. military specifications. All cables are specially tipped to swivel at the ends, increasing the cable life. High-density rubber hand grips have a non-slip finish with polished aluminum end cap and collar. Weight stack enclosures protect against unwanted intrusion to the weight stack, yet allows you easy access. Exercise forward design. All the exercises are performed from the front of the gym. The V2's versatile design allows you to customize your workout to fit your needs. Enhance your routine by performing an exercise using different hand positions or movement patterns. By varying the way you perform an exercise, you'll work your muscles differently. Seat back pad. Rear rollers. Upper rollers. Ankle thigh strap. Adjustable strap handle. Leg press back pad. In an overhand grip, your thumbs point inward towards each other in the starting position. A neutral grip is where your thumbs are parallel, pointing in the same direction in the starting position. The last example is an underhand grip. Here your thumbs point outward, away from each other in the starting position. In pronation, you rotate your hand with your thumb turning inward during an exercise. The opposite is supination, where you rotate your hand with your thumb turning outward during an exercise. Alternate your arm movements by completing an exercise motion from start to finish using one arm at a time. Reciprocate your arm movements by completing the exercise motion using both arms continuously with one arm in the starting position and in the finish position, then switching back and forth. Cross your arm movements by starting with the cables crossed. Begin the motion with your hands close together and complete the motion with a wide finish position. Straight arm movements are a traditional pull or press where the hands start and finish at approximately the same distance apart. When the hand position starts wide and finishes narrow, it is a converging movement. The opposite, where the hand position begins narrow and finishes wide, is a diverging arm movement. Most exercises should be done with a slow, deliberate motion, but some also can be done at a faster pace to increase your heart rate.
Congratulations on the purchase of your Hoist V2 Home Gym. Hi, I'm Clark Bartram.
And I'm Kimber Mahon. We're here to help you maximize the use of the V2.
So if you're ready for a great workout, let's get started. The first exercise we're going to do is squats. And you see Kimber has the low pulley attached to the strap handle. Her feet are shoulder width apart, and she's squatting down till her upper thighs are parallel to the floor. Now, one thing that I want to point out and mention, Kimber, is that your knee should stay directly over your toe when you're doing squats. A lot of people let their knees waver in and out. That's not something that you want to do. You want to keep them nice and aligned right over your toe.
And the reason for that, Clark?
Is to just keep your knee safe. Because if you're coming in or out, it puts that tendon in a really awkward position, and you want to keep safety in mind first when you're exercising. So when you're coming down nice and low, like I said, till your legs are parallel, and you're coming up now, squeeze your glutes. Boom. And then really push your hips forward when you come up to the top, just like that. You're going to do 8 to 15 reps per set. Start slow and make sure you breathe when you're doing the exercise. Perfect.
Yep, I can feel it in my glutes.
That's right where you want to feel it. Moving on. Okay, from the same position, we're going to move on to a lunge. Kimber, you've done a lunge or two in your lifetime?
I sure have.
Okay, so we're going to do it with the V2. So what I want you to do is to take a nice wide step. Basically, I want you to create a box in between your legs. So go ahead and bring your right leg forward and I can show you what I mean. So you're lunging down. This leg is going to go back just a touch, and your knee, you're going to drop straight down. There you go. So you're basically creating a box right in here. You have a 90-degree bend here, 90-degree bend in your knees, and the same back here.
Correct.
So you're not lunging forward, you're actually dropping down. So I do not want your knee to go past your toe.
So really, I could actually just stand right here.
You could stand right there, and you could do a pulse lunge just like that, and actually push back just a little bit.
And that actually saves on your knees.
Right. And that's the key, is if your knee is going past your toe, that puts your patellar tendon in a really awkward position. So that's the reason that I want you to drop straight down. So you could actually bring that back leg back even a little bit more. There you go, and drop straight down and bringing this knee back just a touch. There you go, right there, and then straight up. So now if you have an imbalance, I want you to do 8 to 15 reps on each leg. So if one leg is weaker than the other, do more on the weaker leg. And you can see she has one strap handle. Men, ladies, if you have bigger hands, you could actually attach 2 strap handles and put 1 strap handle in each hand. So it's all based upon what you want and how comfortable you are. So you're lunging straight down, there you go, and push back. So you'll adjust, you might have balance issues at first, but that's a beautiful thing because we're creating more balance. We're making you more functional overall. That's what fitness is all about, you being functional. Aesthetically, we want you to look excellent as well, but functional is very important too. So now what you need to do is take that right leg back. There you go. So see, even Kimber needs to make some subtle adjustments, and that's the beauty of this training video, is we're going to give you all the points necessary to help you get the most out of every repetition that you do. Now we move on to good mornings for the hamstrings, glutes, a little bit of lower back, and you can do it right from the same position you did the squats and the lunges from. So you see Kimber's knees are bent to about 15 degrees right here. That's to keep her lower back safe. So what she's going to do is bend at the waist and then come up, Kimber, and I really want you to squeeze your glutes when you come up at the top. And this will really emphasize that area back there. So we're really just hitting that lower body right now.
Right. I can feel it.
Yeah. And the reason I want your knees bent at 15 to 20 degrees is, like I said, to keep your low back safe. Most lower back injuries happen because people bend over and either pick something up or do something with straight legs. So always keep a knee bent. That activates the big muscles in your glutes, which keeps your lower back safe.
That'll also train you in everyday life to do it naturally.
Right, you build those engrams in your mind to train you to do things just naturally. So the functional strength that you gain here is going to be applied in everyday life, and that's very important. So 8 to 15 reps, perfect form, and you're getting a great lower body workout. Okay, Kimber, I'm going to give you a break now since you've been working so hard, and I appreciate that, but
Okay.
I'll do the standing hamstring curl.
Okay.
So just so you know how to adjust this, obviously we have the adjustment right here to the height of this knee pad. So what I'm going to want is this knee pad to be right above my knee.
Okay.
Okay, so if you were standing in here, that's right above your knee. So that's perfect for me. So I come in with both legs, okay, and I have chosen a weight that's comfortable for me, and it's actually pretty light. Leaning forward and have a slight bend in my waist, and then I'm just going to go up one leg at a time. Just like that. Okay, Kimber, now we're going to move on to some leg extensions. It's time for you to go back to work, and you too. So we're going to make a slight adjustment here from where I had it on hamstrings. We're just going to lower this down right there and bring your legs up and over the pads.
Okay.
The reason I lowered it is I don't want your knees to be too high. You could get in a real awkward position where your knees are up and high. So find the adjustment that's right for you. So we have the weight, and you just go ahead and do just like a leg extension that you've done probably, obviously, a few times in your life. You can see by the development here in the thighs.
This is actually one of my favorite exercises.
Why?
I like to build up my VMO.
Yeah, the VMO is a muscle in the leg, the vastus medialis right here. It's that teardrop kind of a shaped muscle. And the leg extensions are great for that. They're also great for rehab. Obviously, consult your physician first if you have any kind of knee injury, but this is a great way to rehab them. But definitely consult your physician before you do any of these exercises. Now we're going to move on to the leg press. So if you've purchased the optional leg press, I'm going to show you 2 great exercises that you can do. And I'm also going to give Kimber a little bit of a break.
Thank you.
You're welcome, no problem. That's what I live for, helping people out. So leg press. Your feet are positioned so your toes are directly in alignment with your knees, like I spoke of with the exercises you were doing in the squats over there. And the seat back adjustment is so where I'm getting a full range of motion. So I'm coming back right about to here and pressing forward. I think I put a little too much weight on right off the bat. Start slowly and make sure that you use a weight that you can perform at least 8, but no more than 15. So if you're doing 15 easily, that's your time to move up a little bit in weight. Probably be 1 plate at a time. So the leg press is like this. I do not want you to lock your knees out. So your knees are staying slightly bent at the bottom because that's a really dangerous position if you lock your knees. I mean, they help you get around in life.
Exactly.
So the leg press, you see these gigantic machines in gyms that a lot of times women are afraid to approach because they're so big. This is nice, fits right in your living room, and it's very effective at the same time. So I'm coming back, it's stretching my hamstrings and my glutes. You can see my legs shaking a little bit, and I'm taking tempo, nice and slow.
Can we add one thing since you brought up the male and female? When a woman does this, you know, men like to build their upper leg more so than a woman. So what about the intensity and the range of motion on that?
Intensity and range of motion are going to be basically the same because men generally have 10 times more testosterone than women do. So I'm going to build up a little bit faster than Kimber would. So if you have a fear of getting muscle bound, that's really not going to happen. That's a myth that a lot of people think, well, I'm just going to get huge and buff. You need toned muscles to be efficient in life. The more lean mass you have, the more efficient you are at burning fat all the time. So right there you have it, leg press. So adjust the seat to where you're getting a full range of motion and press straight out. And you'll see the foot pads are movable, so you're not locked into any one movement pattern. That's very important because you have to stabilize now while you're doing this movement. Now, since Kimber brought it up, we're going to move on to a toe raise or a calf extension, whatever you want to call it. So here you go. The exercise you requested, you can do it right here. So lower your feet down nice and carefully. You don't want to slide off, so make sure you're positioned carefully on here. And then you're going to keep your knees slightly bent, not locked out, and extend. And then come way back. You really want to get a full stretch. There you go. Full range of motion is very important in any exercise that you do, so make sure that you work through the full range of your body's ability to move. So if you have limited range of motion, work within that, like you might have a tight hamstring or pull it. Work within the range that you feel comfortable in. Don't ever let anybody force you to do anything on a piece of equipment that you're not comfortable with. You have to be comfortable before you move on.
And always slow down, because that's when injuries happen.
Absolutely. When you're rushing through things, you tend to do things not correctly. The goal of this video is to teach you how to do everything absolutely perfectly, and that's exactly the way Kimber's doing right here. And with calves, you could actually get away with more repetitions when your legs are straight. So you could do higher. Instead of 8 to 15, you could do 20 to 25, and you're really actually going to feel the lactic acid build up in your calves, the burn that we hear about in gyms all the time. So vary it. Do some days, do high reps, and then other days, use more weight and do less reps. And that's the beauty of the V2, is you can vary your workout by doing independent movements, one leg at a time, one pulley at a time, more reps, more tempo.
And that variation keeps the body awake, you know?
Your body is so smart, it will figure things out in about 4 to 6 weeks. So you should actually change your workout program about every 4 to 6 weeks. Now we're going to utilize the leg attachment, the ankle strap. So you attach your ankle strap, just like Kimber has done here, and she has it right below her knee. Is that comfortable for you there?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it depends on the individual using the machine as to where they want it. You could lower it down to your ankle, thus the ankle strap, or keep it around your knee.
I found it moves when you move anyway.
Right, so that's the beauty of it, is you're not locked into a movement pattern. That's what I love about the V2, is you are able to use how you want to. You're not locked into a machine like in a gym to do this. So we're going to work the outer thigh and get the glutes and the outer.
Okay.
Okay?
Ready?
So you're right in the perfect position, just like that. So she's keeping her upper body nice and still and just extending straight out. And the more extension you get, the more of an emphasis and the more of a squeeze it's going to put on those glutes right there. Feeling it already?
I'm feeling it already.
That's the key. You want to feel it within 2 to 3 reps. That's why we recommend 8 to 15 repetitions. I see people doing so many reps, so many sets, wasting so much time because they're not thinking about the exercise. So you can think the exercise into the muscle that you want to work.
And that's a key point right there. Think about the body part that you're working, and you'll have a better opportunity of building that area.
Exactly. So many people are focused on how much weight they're lifting or how many repetitions you're doing. Don't be so concerned with that. Be concerned with really getting the most out of every individual rep. So if you can only perform 3 or 4, that's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Take your time, grow, get comfortable with your V2, and you will see massive progress in no time flat. So you did 8 to 15. Well, obviously flip over and do the other side, but for time's sake, you can do that on your own. So let's pretend that Kimber did that. We're going to move on to inner thighs. Kimber made a simple adjustment. You just take the ankle strap off from one leg, put it on the other. I'd like to have you facing the machine like you are for stability reasons. You can grab on. Nothing's going to come up and scrape your hand, so you're safe to grab right here. So that's just for stability. So you're going to want to get a little tension when you first start out, and you can grab the backrest wherever you feel comfortable, and then you're simply pulling your leg past the other leg. Now we move on to the glutes, an area every woman really wants to focus on, and this exercise is going to do it.
I love this one.
All right, well then get moving.
All right, here we go.
Kimber has it attached right around her knee again, and you can adjust it down lower if you want to. If you put it down lower on your ankle, it creates more of a lever, so it's going to actually get harder the farther the weight gets out there. So you actually mentioned to me before that this feels better the higher up you have it.
Right, because I feel like I have more control of my glute area when it's higher.
Okay, good.
And that's a preference.
Right. So whatever you prefer. So she's extending out and really squeezing the glute when she comes back, and hold it there for a beat. So you're stabilizing with the opposite leg and really coming up and pushing back and holding it. And again, you're thinking about it. I'm going to emphasize that over and over again because it is so important that you really think about it. And you can see that it's really working Kimber's glute when she comes up right here. So the glute hamstring tie-in is getting really worked right now. And you're going to want to work both sides evenly. But again, if you have an imbalance on one side, if one side is weaker than the other, do more on the weaker side. So you could start with the weaker side and finish, or you could do more repetitions. But it's all about creating a balance in the body. So there you have it, glute kickbacks. Now this might look a little awkward, but it is so effective. I want you to at least try it out one time, okay? And when you do, I guarantee you're going to love it. The bent over leg press. So Kimber has the ankle strap in the instep of her foot right here. So it's nice and secure, it's not going to slip off. And she's bent over at the waist, and her hands are supported on the bar, the foot bar down here. So she's kicking straight back like a reverse leg press. So she's bending her knee, coming in, keeping this leg up like that right there, and now push straight back. Boom, and you bring it up and really there, just like that. So it's 90 degrees at the knee, you're coming in right there, and you're pushing up and squeezing the glute. Okay, just a couple more exercises with the ankle strap and we're almost done with legs. We're gonna move on to the knee up. You can see Kimber has the ankle strap around her ankle and she's simply bringing
my leg up.
Yeah, your knee up. This works the hip flexor muscle, the psoas muscle that ties in here. So if you're a runner, a basketball player, anyone that jumps and moves a lot here in your legs like this is a great exercise to do, like an aerobic class I used to do. So this has weight added on here, so you're really going to strengthen this muscle in here. Feeling that?
Oh yeah.
So you can either attach the ankle strap to your ankle or bring it over here above your knee. So again, it's up to you how you want to do it. We're obviously doing both sides again, and we're emphasizing pulling up from your hip flexor.
That is where I feel it from here to here.
Right, and that's exactly what we want. So this is a very functional exercise that will carry over into life. If you're a skier, like I said, a basketball player, or anybody that does a lot of lower body movement, this is an exercise that you're going to want to add into your workout program. Now we're going to move on to one more excellent exercise for your lower body, and we're going to call that the side kick. So Kimber, what I want you to do is you're standing perfectly still, drawing your belly button into there you go, you see those abs activate. You bring your knee up, kind of like a karate kick in a way. Knee up, and then extend straight out, and then bring it back in and down. So it's basically 3 parts. So up for 1, out for 2, in for 3, and down for 4. So it's a 4 count. Up, out, in, and down. So again, you could adjust this lower or higher depending on what your comfort level is. How's that feel right there?
Good.
Okay, we'll keep going then.
I'm just thinking, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
If someone wants to maybe go out here, you'll have more tension.
That's an
correct?
excellent point. Yeah, so you could grab the seat
Right.
then at that point. So get out there and get more tension then. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, this has a lot of applications in life, especially if you're a karate person
Right.
and you do a lot of kicking and then up. Again, we're doing both sides evenly. Yeah, the higher you bring that knee up and the more you extend it out deliberately, the better off you're going to be. Yeah, so it's 4 deliberate movements. Up for 1, nice and high, out for 2. There you go, hold it in and then back down. So it gets hard. So if you cannot perform 8 to 15 good ones, take your time and go slow. We're going to move on to chest. So we're going to attach the strap handles to the lower pulleys like we did for you for legs. And I have my weight adjusted accordingly. And I'm going to just do a basic vertical press that you see people doing in the gyms all the time. So I'm pressing straight out. And the beauty of the V2 is that I'm not locked into this one movement pattern. You can see that I'm having to stabilize because there's no bar that's attached.
Right, which creates more of a competition within yourself to keep that straight.
Right, all the muscles in my shoulders need to stabilize to keep my arms safe. So I can go right from a typical vertical press like this into an incline to get my upper chest.
So more of an alternation.
Right.
Immediately.
Yeah, without a beat. I mean, I didn't have to change anything, no adjustments, nothing necessary right here. I could make adjustments on the backrest, which I'll show you in a minute.
Right.
So right from this position, I'm going into an upper press, and then now I can go into
I like that.
a
You know
decline.
what's great about this too, Clark, is that with the V2, you can actually do circuit training on this. Because everything's so close together, you're sitting in one position and you can change the variation.
Yeah, so I'm doing a chest circuit right now. So I'm going from incline to vertical to decline without stopping. And then here's another beautiful thing is you can do single arm movements.
Right.
So one arm at a time. So if you're a boxer or anything like that, there you go.
That's right.
You can do the V2 dance and you're pressing. So you can alternate the movements like this. So it's really up to you how you want to utilize it. And then you can go back. So the bottom line is getting familiar with the V2, getting comfortable with the movements and not running out of breath.
Like you.
And looking like you've never worked out before.
I don't think you look like you've never worked out, Clark.
Well, thank you very much. Now, another variation of the same movement you just saw me do would be to where I just adjust the seat. Because the seat does, remember, have 5 positions.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring it out to a fully inclined position. It's locked into place. And I'm reaching back, grabbing my pulley. And then that's one thing I really want to mention. When you're reaching back and grabbing those pulleys, make sure you don't have too much weight to where you're pulling from that extended position.
Because you could pull something.
Exactly. So if you have a partner, have the partner help you pull the pulley out. So you can see I'm at more of an incline now. So I can get a better stretch here and have actually more of a traditional incline movement right here. So this is a locked in position where I'm just doing a standard incline chest press, which feels excellent.
I love that one too.
So again, I can go into a single arm press right here, or an alternating moving, or I can do reps on just one side and stretch. So there you have it, incline press. Now I have the seat adjusted to more of an incline position, so I can go from your standard, you know, what you would see done in a gym, press, like this right here for upper chest, and then I can go right into the vertical press, and the only difference is I've changed the angle of the seat.
Right.
So one thing you want to keep in mind, if you change the angle, you change the exercise. It's a completely different neurological response. So I'm at a standard vertical press. Now look, boom, right to a decline. It's that simple.
It is that simple.
Yeah. So you can change the positioning of your hands as well. It's more comfortable for me to come into a neutral position when I'm down here instead of this pronated position. So I'm going to a neutral press, and I can actually rotate on the way in. So I'm coming back and then rotating on the way in.
That is such a great benefit.
It really is, because if you have a bar locked in, you're stuck at this right here. And if that's stressing on my shoulder, that's not very good. So whatever hand position works best for you, utilize it. Now we'll move on to a fly movement. Okay, you see the big arcing movements like this. You've done a fly once or twice, right?
Yes, I sure have.
Okay, so I'm going to hand you this so you don't have to reach back and get it.
Thank you.
Okay, you got it? Okay. So what Kimber's going to do, I'm going to ask her to do an incline fly first. So you're going to keep your elbow slightly bent right there. That's your starting position. Up right about here, and then just go ahead, and it's almost like you're hugging a tree or a...
Like that, right?
Yeah. There you go. Perfect. So you're coming out and you're stretching the upper chest, keeping the elbow slightly bent, and I want your hands up here in an incline.
Okay.
Because we're going to go right from incline to vertical to decline without a rest. So she's going to do a few reps, but I'm going to save her. So you got the incline. Now move down to vertical. So right about there. There you go. And you're keeping your arm positioning the same. Is that a good weight for you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Elbows are slightly bent. You can see it's getting a little bit of her bicep. It's getting her chest, obviously, right? Okay. And now simply lower it down like this to more of a decline. So again, like I said, when you change the angle, you change the neurological response in the body, activating all the muscles in that big chest area. So you can alternate one arm at a time, just like we did on the chest press. And now, right back up to incline. So like Kimber said, this is like an upper body circuit training for chest. We did chest press and chest flies, so you just had a great chest workout. One more great exercise for you. Kimber, we're going to do a pec crossover. I'm going to give you a break, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to go from both the above position and the below position, and I'm going to do a pullover, one arm at a time. I mean a crossover, pec crossover. So your feet are about shoulder width apart, elbows slightly bent, and I'm pulling across my upper body like this. So I'm pulling down at a slight angle, and I'm squeezing my chest as I come down. Come up, nice extension, and I'm far enough away to where the weights are not banging on the stack. Knees are slightly bent, belly button is drawn into the spine to activate that abdominal wall, and pulling across. This is a great functional exercise that you could use for a variety of things. Tennis players, baseball players.
Yes.
So pulling over just like that. And obviously I would do both sides.
Right.
You look like you wanted to say something, like you had something.
I was just thinking about the baseball moves and the sports. You know, it's neat how when you work out, you are actually accentuating your other activities in everyday life.
Right, and that's very important. So if your kids are of the age where it's safe for them to work out, it's great to have them, because people oftentimes, Kimber, think, well, I'm active on the weekends, I play sports. If you're strong here, you're going to be strong out there when you're doing your sporting activities.
And it'll be easier.
Exactly, and that's what you want. You want to make everything in life a lot easier. I don't care if you're a housewife and you're simply picking up a laundry basket or your brand new baby or whatever. You have to have strong muscles in order to be able to move through 3 dimensions you know, that we live in.
Right. And once you learn how to make those movements correctly in your weight training, you just automatically, once again, do it in everyday life.
It just naturally carries over into life. So now I'm going to go to the lower pulley and pull up and across my body. Same position, up and across. And you remember what I said about changing the angle?
Right.
Change the exercise. That simple. So I'm getting more of an emphasis on my lower outer chest right now. Although the chest is one big muscle, it's not divided up into upper, lower, outer, and all that. But you know, you want to alternate. So there you have it, 2 great pec crossover moves that you can do right there in your own home. Okay, now we move on to back, that big, beautiful muscle that you see right here, that nice V taper that everyone wants. What Kimber is doing is a diverging lat pull down, meaning her elbows are coming in towards her body. We have the strap handles adjusted at the top, and Kimber's adjusted perfectly here, belly button's drawn in, activating that abdomen. There you go. And extend all the way at the top, Kimber. You mentioned that you love this one. Why do you love it so much?
I just like the way it pulls my entire torso upward and I can feel it in my back.
Yeah, it's almost like traction in a way, huh? When you let your arms stretch up at the top, you can really let that spine open up, get all that blood and fluid in there that it needs to be healthy.
So you can be taller.
Exactly. I could use that. So, Kimber, what I want you to do is think about pulling down from your elbows. Most people think about pulling from their hands, but if you think about pulling, like if I had a couple strings from your elbows pulling down, that's really going to emphasize the lats. Now, one thing that you can do right here without stopping is change the positioning of your hands. Now, when you go back up to the top, I want you to turn your hands facing inward towards your supination right there. Change the angle, you change the exercise. That's how easy it is. So she's activating actually more of her lat muscle by turning her palms in towards her body and pulling down towards the front. And then from this same position, Kimber could go into a neutral grip. So your hands are facing together. Put your hands facing towards each other like that. That, perfectly. Palms are facing each other. So it takes a minute to get comfortable with it, but those are your 3 hand positions. You have supinated, pronated, and neutral. It's that simple. 8 to 15 reps per set. Pull from your elbow and maximize the effort in your back. So from the same position, we can go to an alternating pull down like you see Kimber doing right here. And this would be good for
rock climbing.
Rock climbing, yeah, that's a great point. So if you're pulling yourself up, you're not locked into that movement pattern. So she's doing one arm at a time. And again, if you have an imbalance, do more on the weaker side. And again, you're pulling from your elbows. So there you have it. Alternating lat pull down. Have you ever seen those gymnasts that perform these iron cross?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to do one right now.
All right.
Not like they do it, but I'll do it on my V2 to show you how you can get a great lat workout by doing a seated iron cross. So my hands are actually facing away from my body, and I'm pushing straight down into that muscular iron cross position that we see the gymnasts do. And I would imagine a lot of them probably do this exercise to create the strength in that environment.
Right.
So what I'm doing is thinking about pulling down from my elbows. I'm actually activating my lat muscles right now, and I'm pulling down and squeezing. So it's more of a thought goes into this. So I'm up here, I'm squeezing my lats right there, and I'm pulling down. So it's actually getting my triceps, my lats, my shoulders, my rear delts, everything in one movement.
I don't even think I can do that in the gym I go to.
Actually, there's probably not a machine that you could perform this on in the gym.
Right.
Seated iron cross. Now here's another great variation of the alternating high row. What I did was I adjusted the seat positioning so it's in more of an incline position, and Kimber's laying back to where she's resting on these back pads right here, and she's alternating. So what I want you to do, Kimber, is actually bring your elbows up more perpendicular to each other, one at a time. So you go one at a time,
okay,
but keep your elbows back there, because you're working this nice rear delt muscle that often gets overlooked when people are training in gyms. So you could go from that right into, together.
Right.
So there, and then right there. So now you're working the upper, middle, back. So the pull downs in a more vertical position work more of the lats. Now we're changing the emphasis to this area up here. So if you have a poor posture, this is an excellent exercise to bring those shoulders back so you're standing nice and tall. I'm going to adjust the weights right here, a little bit heavier for me. So I'm in a position where my legs are slightly wider than shoulder width apart. I have my hand resting on my knee or my elbow, whichever is more comfortable for you, and you're getting a nice stretch in the lat right here. And then you're pulling in from the elbow, down low and tight into the waist, just like that. Oh yeah, good stretch and a good squeeze. You're doing both sides, so you could step onto the other side of the machine to do the opposite side, or you could simply change your position like this. It's that easy. So no need to move actually. And I'm stretching and pulling. So there you have it, the one arm row. Now we're going to move on to the standing low row. Another one of your favorites, right?
Yes.
Okay, assume the position. This is such an excellent exercise because look, you're activating the entire body right here. Unlike a machine in the gym where you're locked into a movement pattern, we're getting her quads, her hamstrings, and of course her lats, her shoulders, everything. You feeling that already?
Oh, yeah.
This takes some doing to get right. So her back is nice and flat here. Her legs are bent at 90 degrees. She's nice and still, quiet down here. She's pulling from her elbow and activating the lat muscle back here. 8 to 15 repetitions is probably all you're going to be able to do at first. Work your way up to 1, 2, 3, 4 sets eventually when you get comfortable. And this is such an excellent exercise to get the entire body. Now we're going to make use of the integrated foot brace on your V2. You can see Kimber's foot positioning right here. And she's seated, we have the seat in the fully inclined position so she gets more range of motion. And she's doing a low, seated low row. And again, you can change the hand positioning depending on how comfortable. It looks like neutral position works for you.
Right, or I like this one too.
Yeah, so feel free to move throughout the exercise. It really doesn't matter. So the emphasis is pulling on the lats. And you can come in nice and tight with a neutral grip. You can come out a little bit wider with more of a pronated grip. There you go. And you can even come up a little bit higher to get the rear delts again right here. Getting kind of hard, huh?
Oh, yeah, I need a lower weight for that one.
Yeah. So as you work through the different exercises, you'll notice that some muscles are stronger and some muscles are weaker, depending on how often they're used in everyday life. Obviously, we're getting the bicep in here, which is used in almost every activity that we do. This muscle up here in the upper back is not often utilized, so use this exercise to strengthen it. Now we're going to move on to an exercise pretty much everybody has done, including yourself, right, Kimber?
Right.
Wide grip lat pull downs. We have the bar attached, lost the strap handles. We put those away securely on our little handy dandy storage unit in the back. And Kimber's just going to do a lat pull down. So go ahead and get started. What are you waiting on? You're kind of taking a break on me or something?
You're the information source. I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah.
All right.
So the hand positioning could be as such, where she has it right here, or you could go a little bit wider. Personally, I like it right out here at the bend on the bar. So.
And don't you find, Clark, that is basically something that of preference based on the way you're built? Because I have a small torso and back area.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the bars. You can just adjust your hand wherever you want it. Again, like I said before, you don't have to do something just because somebody else is doing it a certain way. You need to be comfortable with the exercise yourself. So you're pulling straight down. And you can either take this, what they call a false grip, where you have your thumb on the outside of the bar, or you could wrap your thumb underneath the bar and get a little bit more of a secure grip. Do you prefer that outside grip?
I like the outside for whatever reason.
That's fine, however you like it.
And then when I'm in the gym too, I will tend to sometimes just bring the elbows more inward. Do you do that?
Yeah, and actually a good point here is you could reverse your grip. Go ahead and let it up to the top, and let's go right into a reverse grip pull down where you're grabbing on the inside, turn your hands towards your body now. There you go. And then back down, we went from a wide grip to a reverse grip, that simple. So that brings your elbows in tight to your body naturally right there. And actually, EMG tests show that there's more activation of the lat muscle when you reverse the grip and go this way. So do a few wide grip and do a few reverse grip and get the most out of the lat pull down. Now we're going to go to one of my favorites, a straight arm lat pull down. Time for you to get a break.
All right.
So I'm going to grab, I like to grab up here and kind of around the hooks. It gives me a nice secure grip. And I'm keeping my upper body straight and pulling my arms straight down. So it's a straight arm lat pull down. You want to keep your arms nice and straight, and it's really going to get the lat muscles right here. So actually what's happening is when I'm in this position, my lats are automatically being contracted and then pulling down. So I'm getting full range muscle contraction, and that's very important. I see guys in the gyms doing this all the time, and this is a great exercise that you're going to want to add to your workout routine too. So do about 8 to 15 reps and make sure you get the form perfectly, just like this. There you have it. Straight arm lat pull down. Now we get to move on to the shoulders. It's an area that everyone wants to work to get that nice V taper, nice shoulders, small waist, beautiful body. So Kimber's doing a shoulder press. I want you to press straight up over your head. So you're bringing your hands back just a touch, now press straight up. There you go, a little different movement.
Yes.
Unlike the incline chest press that we did, this is more of a shoulder press. So again, press straight up over your head. There you go. So what she's doing is coming down, leading with the elbow, and pressing straight up. Again, you're doing about 8 to 15 reps per set. Inhaling, exhaling on the effort. So right now she should be breathing out and inhaling on the way down. Belly button's nice and tight, pulled in. Feeling that?
Oh, yes.
Just give me 2 more. And then a variation of this could be, you could go 1 arm at a time. So just keep your left hand down and push up with your right. So that's another variation of the shoulder press that you can do on your V2. Okay, now we're going to work the front part of the shoulder that ties into the upper chest, front deltoid. So we're doing a seated front deltoid. We can also do this from the standing position, which I'll probably make you do from the standing position.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So you're seated up nice and straight, and your arms are just locked out, straight, and you're just pulling straight up to the front. So this is actually great for a person that bench presses a lot, to work that anterior delt, the front part of the delt muscle,
Right.
to gain that extra strength in there. It's also great for, you know, sports-specific type of stuff. And I could go.
Because you're feeling it a lot right in here.
Exactly. It gets not only the front delt, but it's also getting my bicep.
Right.
And it's actually getting my forearm a lot as well.
True.
Because of the grip. You know, I'm having to hold on to that and lift it straight up. So 1 arm at a time, or two arms at a time, just like that. There you have it. Seated front deltoids. Okay, now we're going to move on to the side part. We got the front part with the front raises,
Right.
the anterior head. Now we'll work to the medial head, which is the side part.
Okay.
So I'll do the feet again are shoulder width apart. You can put your hand on your hip. Arm is slightly bent. You're grabbing the low pulley, and you're simply raising up to the side, hitting the side delt. You see guys in the gym with dumbbells doing this?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a variation of that movement. That's still a great exercise. But with your V2, you have a cable attachment which actually gives you resistance from this point all the way up. And you can't really get a whole lot of momentum going. And that's something that we need to mention again, is taking your time and really squeezing it up as you go.
And with that as well, you will gain more control of your movement, whereas with a dumbbell, you can get a little sloppy.
8 to 15 reps on both sides, but for instructional reasons, I'll just do 1. And then I can move right to a bent over rear delt like this.
Okay.
So I'm same feet positioning, and I'm bent over. Now I'm moving from my medial head to my posterior head, the back of it. So, boom, just like that. So the elbow is slightly bent, and I'm pointing the elbow to the ceiling. Okay, now we'll do a few more exercises for the rear deltoid.
Great.
And I'm going to give you a break again.
Okay.
So what I'm doing here, Kimber, is I'm crossing. I have the left handle in my right hand, the right handle in my left hand, so it's actually crossing over.
Okay.
Okay? And I'm bringing my elbows up high, and I'm gonna pull up high like this. So the cables are naturally gonna rub together, so that's normal for that to happen. But the key is standing up nice and straight and pulling up with my elbows, not down low. So this is actually a very hard exercise to do because not a lot of people train that rear delt muscle.
Yes.
So elbows, you're pulling from the elbows nice and high, just like that. Now another variation of a great rear delt exercise would be a seated upright row.
Okay.
So I have my foot on the integrated foot bar. I'm sitting here, up in a nice neutral position with the spine, belly button is pulled in.
Right.
Exactly, you got it. And you just pull up with the elbows, so you're getting the rear delts. So we got a lot of rear delt movement today.
Yeah, you do. And with this one, you have a little more support too.
Right,
if
you
didn't wanna
can
do the
rest
standing
back here on the
position.
pads if you want to lean back a little bit further.
Right.
So at this point, it would be appropriate to integrate a little bit. You could actually come back, so you don't have to be locked into, you know,
Right.
this stiff position. You could actually lean back and pull if you wanted to, but be careful not to lean back too far on this.
Right, which you never
pads.
want to do in any exercise.
Exactly.
Right. Now, what about shoulder shrugs? Could you do that? Because it almost looks like you have that movement.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you brought that up because I
Ability.
can be seated right here and just go into the shrug position. So I've gone from my rear delts to my trapezius muscles, the muscles around your neck. And
Right.
So you're seated here, you're up nice and tall, and you're grabbing the handles and pulling straight out to the side like that.
Right.
Wow.
And it's not an easy movement at all.
You can say that again. All dependent on the person doing the exercise. Some people might want to go back further than others. Some might want to limit it to right just here. And again, you can do one arm at a time. So the possibilities are limitless. It just depends on, your imagination really and what you want to do.
Right, and what level you are at that current day.
Okay, now we're going to work some of the smaller muscles in the shoulder, and it's very important that you do this because the shoulder has more range of motion than any other body part. So what Kimber's doing is internal rotation for the rotator cuff. You see she has her elbow on the inside of her knee, and her arm is straight, and she's simply internally rotating, working the smaller muscles. You feel it up here in your shoulder?
Yes, I do.
Now this is super important if you're an athlete, if you throw a ball, if you're a big bench presser in the gym and you like to lift heavy weights. You need to strengthen these smaller internal muscles in the rotator cuff. So we're going internally now, and then now we can go externally. Simply grab it with the other hand and externally rotate by pulling it outward. This is not going to take a lot of weight to do, so maybe one plate. There you go, just like that. Do you feel a difference going externally compared to internally?
The externally is harder for me.
Yeah, I was going to say most people are weaker in this range of motion. So again, you'll just do more exercises, but start lightly, and be sure to consult your physician if you have any kind of shoulder problems at all.
Okay, now we're going to try the seated tricep extension. Are you ready, Clark? Okay.
Sitting here, right?
Right.
Look like I'm ready to go.
Okay. So you're going up over your head, working the tricep.
Exactly. This is actually an excellent movement. I love it because you're getting a full range of motion right here. My arms are fully buried behind me, and I'm keeping my upper arm still.
Right.
So it's not moving. I'm not pulling forward. I'm actually extending from my lower arm.
And your back is protected because you have your back against the rest there.
Seat positioning is upright, so you're getting full range of motion. So extend and stretch all the way down, and exhale and squeeze at the top.
Right. And with us, this is good for women too because we tend to get a little jiggly under here.
So you want to tone that muscle up in the back of your arm. Actually, the tricep, there's 3 muscles, so it's a bigger muscle than the bicep. So when you're doing these, the order I want you to do your arms in is actually do your tricep work first.
And then your bicep.
Yeah, because they're bigger muscles, like I said, in your tricep. So 8 to 15 repetitions, upper arm perfectly still, moving from the lower arm. Boom, just like that. Okay, now it's Kimber's time to work. She's going to do some tricep push downs. We have the lat bar attached. Notice her upper arms are staying stationary. It's like I have them pinned into the side of her body. I don't want to move them back and forth like this. And she's simply moving from her lower arm down, squeezing the tricep at the bottom of the movement. Coming up nice and slow. It's actually activating her abs and everything. So you just give me 2 more. 1. And this is a good point. You want to choose a weight that's going to be good for you. Very good, right there. And now we can go into, oh, she's going to give me 1 more. Okay, good. I'll do the next exercise.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and come out. And I'm going to do a reverse tricep push down. So this is the same exercise, but I'm simply changing the angle that my hands are, which is going to change the overall neurological response in the muscle. So I'm going to take a little wider grip here for this one. Same position, and I'm extending straight down. Just like that. Same movement, a little different variation. Good stuff, huh?
Yes.
Are you loving this
Impressed.
workout or what?
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good already. Just looking at mine.
I'm impressed. And we're going to be impressed with you when you continue to use your V2 and get the body of your dreams.
Now, Clark, you can also add the straps to it as well, right?
Actually, that'd be a great variation of this. Simply remove the lat bar, put the strap handles on, and then you could do the individual reverse tricep press down with the strap handle. So it's a great variation to an excellent exercise. Now, a variation of the seated tricep extensions will be the standing tricep extension, which Kimber is performing here ever so wonderfully. Her feet are staggered, okay, so she's got a nice base of support. Draw that belly button in nice and tight to activate that abdominal wall, and you can even step out just a touch right there to get more extension. So she's getting that full extension at the bottom, coming all the way down, and then coming up to the top and squeezing it and holding it for a beat at the top. And now let's work on that tempo. Down for 1, 2, and 3, all the way down and up. One final exercise for the triceps is going to be a standing hammer press down.
Okay.
Now what hammer means is the positioning of your hands. It's like you're hammering something, so that's how they came up with the name.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so I have the strap handles here positioned. I can go one arm at a time or both together, but I'm simply locking my arms in a position like you had with the traditional press down, and I'm pressing straight down. You've made the investment into your V2, now you're halfway there. You just need to start doing the exercises consistently. Everybody wants to work their biceps, so we're going to go ahead and do a seated bicep curl. You can see Kimber has the seat in its inclined position, and the pads here are adjusted up so they support her lower back. And she's simply doing a seated bicep curl. Now she's doing both together. You feeling it there in the biceps? I can actually really see that working. You can go one arm at a time and alternate, or you could do all your repetitions on one side, complete them, and then do the repetitions on the next side, or do them together. So the variation is really up to you. You decide what you want to do. But again, we're looking for about 8 to 15 on each arm. So what you're going to want to do is be able to do at least 8, but no more than 15. Once you can do 15, that's your indication to move up in weight. How's that feeling for you? Am I wearing you out yet?
I'm at 15.
You're at 15? I think she was multiplying. Now another slight variation to the seated curl would be the seated hammer curl. You can see Kimber's hands are in the hammering position. Now what this is going to do, Kimber, is actually, and I'm sure you can feel it, it works down more into your forearm.
It does,
your
yes.
radial brachialis muscle in here. So if you have weak forearms, if you have a job that requires that you hammer or do something like that, this is a great way to strengthen that muscle. And also if you have carpal tunnel syndrome or anything like that, this is a great way to strengthen those muscles in the forearm to help alleviate some of that pain. Now we can use the short bar for this right here. And you could also use the strap handles if you want to. So you'd obviously use 2 strap handles to do this.
That would make sense.
Oh yeah,
And with the strap handles, you could alternate.
Yes, definitely. But this right here is probably the staple of everybody's exercise program, the good old American bicep curl.
Are you feeling it now?
Am I feeling it? Feel it and tell me if I'm feeling it. Go ahead.
Ooh, yeah.
Curls for the girls.
Now how about the reverse curl?
Reverse curl, good point. So again, this would go and work down into the brachialis muscle in the forearm. So I'm simply turning my palms over, facing down, and keeping the upper arms locked into the body.
Now the difference that you're feeling compared to before?
You can almost, I mean, you can see in my forearm right there, it's really getting the forearm.
Okay.
It's a little bit of the bicep, obviously a lot of the bicep, but a lot of the forearm as well.
So this movement's a little more intense than the other one.
That's what I'm talking about, intense. Okay, you can see Kimber's doing an overhead bicep curl. Her feet are on the integrated foot brace, giving her great support. She's keeping her upper arm stationary and curling the bar towards her forehead. Make sure you don't bang yourself in the forehead there. There you go. Nice tempo, and you can see, really see it working her bicep muscle. This is a great, different variation where you're elevating your arm, causing a different neurological response, and curling down. Okay, give me 2 more. You know, you could also do this with the strap handles too. So you would obviously attach one to each side so you could do the independent movement with the strap handles. So it's up to you how you want to utilize the overhead bicep curl. Probably the most coveted body part on the human body, the abs. Everyone wants great abs. We're going to show you some great exercises so you can get your great abs. Kimber is doing an ab crunch. She has the lat bar, she's holding it stationary to her forehead, and what I want you to do, Kimber, is just contract from your sternum, perfect, to your belly button. You've obviously done this with someone who knows what they're doing. There you go, crunch, just like that. And it's imperative that you exhale on the crunch. You don't want a belly full of air. So when you're coming down, it's almost like you're power breathing. Really exhale out nice and strong so you can really contract that abdomen. Boom. So you can do 8 to 15 repetitions, and we want you to load your abdomen with weight as well. So you shouldn't be doing 200 reps. 8 to 15 is good for your abs as well. 1 to 4 sets, depending on your level of fitness. Feeling it?
Yes, I am.
Okay, give me 5 more. Keeping that perfect, excellent. It's not a very big movement, it's a nice controlled movement. Again, it's like a rubber band is contracting from your sternum to your belly button, and that's it. Now we're going to move on to the waist. Everybody needs to work their waist. So we got the abdominal muscles. Now we're going to work Kimber's waist right here. So you see Kimber has her feet about shoulder width apart, and she has the lower strap handle, and she's simply bending from side to side. You know, Kimber, a lot of people avoid this exercise, and I don't know why.
Yeah, why is that?
I think people think they're going to get a big wide waist, and that's not the case. Of course, if you load it up with way too much weight, that might happen, but how many times in life do you bend and stretch? You have got to be strong in this plane of movement.
You just said a key word, stretch.
Stretch. Yeah, so you're getting a great stretch on this side of the oblique. Now you're actually contracting that side of the oblique. So this carries over very well into the real world. If you're reaching down for something, how many times have you heard someone say, well, I just bent over and I threw out my back?
Right.
It's because people avoid movements like this. So you need to be strong right here, and that's going to carry over into everyday life.
And here right now, I'm not using a lot of weight because I don't need to, but I'm getting that stretching and that movement in my body.
Right, and you want to move from side to side.
Right.
So do some oblique crunches at home. Now we're going to do a standing oblique crunch off to the side to work more of the serratus anterior. The muscles in here kind of look like fingers on the side. So Kimber has the strap handle secured to her forehead, and she's simply contracting right here. So again, it's like having a rubber band from the lower part of your chest to your waist, and you're just contracting that area right there. And exhale when you come down, Kimber. Her knees are slightly bent. There you go. You want to have a good shoulder width stance, and boom, you're contracting just like that. And of course, you're exhaling on the effort. It's very important that you breathe all the time, especially with the abdominal exercises. Now we're going to move on to the exercise you probably see most often done in gyms, a seated ab crunch. Kimber has the seat in the fully upright position. She's sitting up nice and tall, and the strap handles are up around her chest and nice and secure close to the body. So again, she's simply contracting from the sternum, the lower part of the chest, to the belly button, like there's a rubber band there. Don't just fold over your body all the way down. And again, you're exhaling. Really breathe out hard when you're crunching down. So the key to abdominal exercising is getting it in your mind. You really want to think the movement into the muscle. So it takes a lot of concentration. I don't want you to just rush through these exercises. Think about each and every repetition. So you're getting the most out of the 8 to 15 that you're going to be doing here. Now, an exercise you probably don't see a lot of people doing is a transverse swing, and that simply means moving from side to side like this.
Right.
So I'm going to start with the upper pulley. I'm taking my outside arm and bringing it up and across and resting my inside arm here. Okay, so I'm coming out to where I have tension to start, and I'm going to twist down and come up. So I'm really getting my waist on this exercise.
And you feel a lot, yes, you feel it all the way across.
Absolutely. And when you're coming down right here, and this carries over into life. I mean, if you do something like chopping wood, they actually call this a wood chop exercise, the non-technical term for it. So I'm really getting a good stretch in my waist here. And again, I'm pulling mainly from this arm and resting this hand here and pulling down, that arm staying straight, just like that. And I'm getting the waist. And obviously, I would switch over and do the opposite side as well. And I can also go to the lower pulley and do that exact same movement, except now I'm going to be coming up and away. So here, opposite arm, pulling up, just like that. So these are very functional movements that you should incorporate into your abdominal routine to get the most out of your V2. Okay, now we're going to move on to some sport-specific exercises, some things that you can carry over into any activity you do outside of the gym.
This is fun.
This is real fun right here. So we're going to start, let's do a bat swing. I like to play baseball a little bit. So unlike the abdominal exercises you saw me do, I want to incorporate more of my body into this. So you're going to see my feet moving. So we're going to try and simulate a bat swing, just like you're swinging a baseball bat. So, and again, you want to get comfortable with your V2. Know the range of motion. Know how far you can get away from the machine so it doesn't bottom out at the top. So I'm here and I'm going into a swing, and I'm actually positioning my feet and I'm twisting as I go. So this is just like working a baseball bat. Boom. So I'm getting my hips activated into the swing, my waist, my arms, my chest as I cross over.
Exactly.
Now right from there, I could go into a baseball throw. So I'm in this position and I'm throwing. Again, be careful. You don't want to just jump into these movements. You want to take your time and make sure those rotator cuff muscles are nice and strong like we did earlier.
Right.
And a throw. So you see I'm bringing my whole body into this now. I'm actually throwing, because if I were throwing a baseball or a football, that'd actually be how I would do it.
Exactly. And maybe too, Clark, you could kind of emphasize, even though when you throw a ball, you're moving rather quickly, this is a form that you still want to keep at the same time of the motion.
Right, so you're keeping, like Kimber said, you're keeping good form, and you're thinking about, okay, I'm working my waist now, I'm working my tricep now. So you're fully integrating your body to maximize the benefits when you're doing your sport.
Right, because if you think about it now, you're going to do it naturally when you're out there on the baseball diamond or wherever it is you're playing ball.
Absolutely. Okay, another great would be a spike move. Are you a volleyball player at all? You're
yes,
tall.
I do. I play at the beach all the time.
All right, great. So you probably spiked a few on some people?
Oh, yes.
Never on me, because I'm practicing my spike right here. So this would be more of a downward arcing motion as opposed to the baseball where I'm going out.
Okay.
I'm pushing down on this one. So just like a spike. So you're gaining that strength in the sport-specific function, you know how your body
Function, form.
Exactly. So I'm integrating my hips and everything. I'm not just, because when you're doing a spike, that's the thing that you want to do. You want to get up in the air, elevate, and then torque that body across to get the most and just
put all your power into it.
Power, baby.
Exactly.
Boom, just like that. Put them up, put them up. You want to fight?
Sure.
Okay. Now we could do a great boxing exercise. And this is a really good integrative movement to where I'm doing a punch like a boxer or a karate person. So I'm integrating the hips, the feet, and everything, and and extending straight out. And I like to actually bring this arm in to torque my body around, because again, you want to maximize every part of your body. For you golfers out here, here's a great movement to increase your swing strength. Kimber, let's see it right here.
Just like you'd hold a club, right?
Exactly. Come up and follow through, not to the point where you whack me with the club. There you go. So you're working I'm not much of a golfer, so I'm going to actually watch Kimber and learn a few things here. But again, these are simply to carry over into life to help you be more efficient at what you do. So if you want to increase your golf game, I can safely say that if you do this exercise, you're going to strengthen all of the muscles that are necessary to help you to increase your swing speed, to increase your range of motion. So actually come up a little bit higher with that. There you go, just like that. Okay, if you're a bowler, this is going to be a great exercise to help you with your bowling game. Time for a 300. Okay, here we go. And again, you want to mimic exactly what you'd be doing in your sport. So come up like you're approaching the lane and you're going into your movement, just like that. So you're integrating your entire body into what you're doing. And most people don't bowl ambidextrously, but it's good to train that way, because this will carry over into other things as well. Another sport that's sweeping the nation is women's soccer. Do you ever play soccer?
I have occasionally.
You're just an all-around athlete, huh?
I am.
Okay, so we're going to do a soccer pass. So unlike the internal adduction that we did, we're going to actually have you step into it and do like a soccer pass.
Okay.
So step into it with the left leg and then pass. There you go.
I like that.
Yeah, step across and then there you go. Boom and boom. There you go, just like that. Excellent. Again, we're talking about integrating. This is not isolation time, this is integrative time. So you see Kimber stepping across, she's stabilizing with that opposite leg, and she's swinging, she's using your upper body to get going. So all this movement up here is totally fine. We want to get everything involved. So soccer pass, we're doing both sides evenly again. Well, we just showed you a few of the great exercises that you can do on your Hoist V2. We hope you had fun.
And not only do we hope you had fun, but we hope that you see the variety that you can get out of the V2. It really is a great machine.
V stands for variety.
I like that.
Absolutely. So enjoy the variety that you can get on your V2. We'll see you next time. I'm Clark Bartram.
And I'm Kimber Mahon.
Have a great workout.